Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome back to yet another video. So for today's video, let's jump into Novik straight away and go into the Sylvan squad day 1 best team for my free-to-play account. So let's run through some records here. For this boss fight, we have access to both Reina as well as Twins, which are the best supports right now in the game, right? They're some of the best bossing supports, so we have to include them in the first team because the second team will require you to have 3 wildest character. So that's the basis that I'm building my team around. So these are all the different damage numbers. We tried with different charms, with a little bit of positional changes as well as different artifacts, and turns out the best score or the best team is this team over here with this formation for me. Okay, so this is the formation. We're going to run through the formation. First of all, we have Twins. So Twins, Elijah and Lila over here. So Lila is in front because she can actually move to the boss a little bit faster, and that's where we are able to get the energy up and get our ultimate as soon as possible. So this will allow us to cycle through the Twins ultimate. We have Lenya as a secondary carry, so this is the damage output for Lenya for this fight. So roughly fluctuates between 28 to 30 build for me, based on the different repeats I had. And then we have Pheromore as the main damage dealer. So Pheromore will be the prime carrier, and in this position, Pheromore will be able to buff up Lenya. So Lenya is further buffed up by Reina through Reina's charm ability, and on top of that, Reina's dynamic balance will provide for the heal that Lenya will need to survive the full duration. So that's for the synergies between the units. And then we have Hewin. So Hewin is insanely good against this boss because whenever the boss casts that AoE laser ability, Hewin's ultimate basically negates the damage. So this will help keep your whole team alive and last through the full fight. And then this is for the first team. Okay, later we'll run through the replay. And then this is the second team. So Damien is there for the sustain, for the additional damage as well as disruption. Our dear Florbell will be there for the damage, right? So Florbell is insanely good for this boss because you're able to summon 3 other bodies, which will give you like more attacks in, right? And with the attack speed charm, your whole team will be able to attack faster, and this will allow you to remove that barrier that the boss have at the start as well as the 45-second mark. So we are further supported by Lily May's main damage output. So this is the damage distribution for the second team. So without further ado, let's run through the charms and then the battle for this fight. Let's go. Okay, so now let's run through the charms. Lily May, sorcery charm, best charm over Titanic. I've tried Titanic and I think sorcery is way better. Like I think 2 to 3 build worth of damage better, so that's why we upgraded our sorcery charm. Pheromore, we use our dear arcane charm. So recommended is our mythic charm, right? But I think for this fight, Pheromore has no issues getting the energy going for him, and at the same time, I think once he gets the ultimate up, the ultimate is able to do a lot of damage, which will be amped up by the attack percentage increase. And for skill power increase itself, right, it's also inside the arcane charm. So the only difference is between haste as well as attack percentage. So haste allows you to use your skills and ultimates a little bit faster, right, whereas attack percentage gives you higher cap in terms of the true damage output. So for this fight itself, since you have no issue keeping the ultimate up, I think haste is a little bit less efficient compared to just having more attack, so that your whole team as well as Pheromore himself does more damage with the increased attack stat on Pheromore. So that's for the arcane charm. Then next one we have Florbell. So Florbell, we use the Gale charm. So this is definitely the best one because it gives you attack percentage, which equates to more damage of your summons, and attack speed allows you to bring down the barrier as fast as possible. And then we have Lenya. So Lenya one is the most optimal charm, Butchers. So I haven't tried others, but I don't think others will be better than Butcher, because for Lenya's kit, I'll say most of the time it has always been Butcher charm being the best. So for this one, we're going to refine Butcher charm so that our Lenya gets more stats and hopefully do more damage in this next run. And then we have our dear Damien. So Damien is a healing charm. So just there for the support as well. I mean, this is a wizard charm, by the way. Additional support as well as ultimate power to give you more damage of the ultimate, and healing to give more heals, which is much appreciated to keep the Florbell and Lily May alive. So that's for Damien. Then next, Reina's. Okay, Hewin's charm first before we move on to Reina and Twin. So Hewin's one is the healing one. Yeah, recovery charm, healing and skill power. So skill power gives you more heal, healing gives you more heal. That's the main role for Hewin. And then for the Celestial Hypogean, Reina is running Mythic. So haste as well as skill power, because for Reina's charm, Skill power gives you more heal off the second skill and also a little bit more damage off golden ratio with the ability to spam the skills a little bit faster. So that's why we use that one. And then for twins is I think it's sorcery, if I remember correctly. Yeah, sorcery charm. So this will give you more ultimate power and skill power, which will boost up the buff that twins is able to provide and the energy regen onto the ally for them to spam their skills faster. So that's the idea for the charms. And without further ado, let's move back into the battlefield. Okay, so this is the positioning. Artifact of choice for this one is actually Frost 4. So like I actually tried Harmonic at first, but I think for Harmonic you have a lot of offensive power, but you lack the defensive stats, which means that there are certain moments in time where the boss uses the massive AoE damage, and that is enough to actually bring down my units because my units ain't exactly the most built up. So right here, as you guys can see, my Hewin's EX5, my twins is at the Mythic Plus tier, and Reina is also at the Mythic Plus tier. So they might not be in the best tier stats, right, for them to survive without those stats. So Frost 4 is better for me because not only does it give me that additional defensive stat, it gives me attack percentage, pretty decent, gives me haste as well, and also the Blizzard ability, which is one way to deal damage against the boss as well. So this is the artifact of choice for me. So you can definitely try to use Harmonic if your units are a lot more higher tier to give you more damage overall, because I think Harmonic is just better overall as an offensive artifact. But if you can't survive, it's pointless. So that's why we use Frost 4 here. So the positioning is as such. Our Layla and Elijah here, Reina in front of Lenya to give Lenya the charm buff and the heal from dynamic balance, and then we put Hewin inside. So this way Hewin will be able to benefit from the second skill of the twin, Stellar Bond, to give us HP restoration and energy restoration, which is important for Hewin to cycle through the ultimate. So that's for the buff itself. And then we have the stats buff if you have them at the Supreme Plus side. So I don't have them, so I don't have this skill unlocked. But the cosmic protection over here also gives you that ability to keep one unit alive, which allows you to keep your Lenya up, because Lenya is an important source of damage for this team. So that's for the lineup for this one. And then for the second one, right, Damien all the way in front, Florbell on the left hand side, and Lilime on the right hand side. So without further ado, let's run through the battle. So I'll run at one time first to just showcase, you know, how the battle flows. So Lenya will be just running up to the boss with the buff from the Reina, and then our Pheromore drops down the ultimate right here. So this is where, right, Pheromore will be able to sort of keep up that ultimate for the full duration, and we don't actually need Pheromore with the haste buff. Like haste actually allows you to sort of attack faster and use your skill faster, but then since you're not spamming your ultimate, that haste buff I think overall is less efficient compared to just having more attack stats. More raw damage. So that's the idea. So for this one, our units are able to survive the full duration because we have both the healing sustained from the twins as well as Hewin with the EX weapon for the massive damage reduction. So right here, when Hewin casts the ultimate, okay, the boss can channel the big ball laser right here. As you guys can see, this is the skill that does a lot of damage the later you go, because you do a lot of damage to the boss, and then this skill hits really hard. So this is where, if you are able to align this ultimate as the boss is casting it, you will be able to negate most of the damage. So right here, the numbers are not as scary yet, and then I think in the next cycle our Hewin should be able to get the ultimate. Okay, so you can see our Lenya as well as our twins losing quite a huge chunk of HP, but then getting them back relatively fast because we have the Hewin heal support. Okay, and then this is where the full team survives the full duration, and then we just jam in maximum damage. Okay, so that's for this team. I think Hewin will be quite crucial for this boss fight, cause like the ability to negate this big black hole laser beam attack is quite important, cause like it hits really hard, especially when we close in on the 60 build range, as you guys can see. So yeah, this ultimate here will negate this skill, right, and then we will be able to survive that last 10 seconds to jam in even more damage. Okay, so the thing about using a more defensive artifact is you're able to survive through longer, and then with the additional few seconds of survival, jam in more damage. So that's why I chose to use my Blizzard artifact. Yeah, but if let's say your units are way stronger than mine, you have more stats, try to use the more offensive ones and then test out whether or not it will work for you. So that's for your own account. Okay, So for this one, pretty straightforward. Florbell summons all the kids, right? You have like 4 units attacking the boss, so the shield falls relatively quickly. And then Lily May does a lot of damage on her own without any buff or anything. And then Damien's there for that haste buff as well as the heal to keep the 2 carries alive. So that's the role of Damien, while providing additional damage. Not a lot, but still I'll say decent chunk. So almost died there, Florbell. So Florbell is quite important, by the way, in terms of your overall damage output. We're just gonna go at 2 times, and then we're gonna run through the final numbers. Okay, so yep, this is the laser beam attack, but the laser beam doesn't hit as hard. At least, let's say if your units are Supreme Plus, it doesn't hit as hard around the 40 build range. Everything starts to ramp up around that 50 build range if your team is able to reach there. Yeah, so that's for the second team. Pum. Okay, 42 is actually big. I think I might actually break my own record here. Does it make... Oh, almost. Oh my god, if Damien hits the thing, we might actually break our own record. Okay, so this is the damage number, 107. Best record is 108, so this is the damage distribution once again. So right here, as you guys can see, if the first team towards that last few seconds, if the units manage to survive, we could actually jam in like maybe like the few hundred like million more damage, and that will definitely amp up our damage number. So yeah, there's a lot of RNG factor, there's a lot of min maxing, but this is my most optimal team, and hopefully this team is helpful for you guys to achieve your 108 build score, or maybe even more, or get you to your optimal score so that you can get a better rewards overall. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.